Welcome to the line change. Canucks win. A big win for the Vancouver Canucks. They win by a final score of 6-2. So lots of goals for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Lots of goals, not a whole lot of shots, but they get the job done here against Chicago. We're going to break it down for you right here on the line change. Starting with the first period. At the beginning of the first period, the Canucks were forcing a few Blackhawks turnovers in this game. That's what I noticed right off the bat. And then Mancini took a high sticking penalty. Unfortunate. However, can't be too concerned about the Canucks taking a penalty, considering the Canucks penalty kill has been one of the best in the NHL in the last month. The Blackhawks ended up going 0 for 1 on the power play. Did not register a single shot on goal. I also noticed after the penalty that Mancini was playing with Hughes. So that was interesting to see. I also noticed with the Canucks, lots of incomplete passes for the Canucks. A lot of them getting blocked or intercepted. And then we went a full 7 minutes without a whistle in this first period. So this first period was flying. The Canucks had a couple good chances with Mancini and Elias Pettersson. Hughes was put back with Hronek. So seeing those two back together again, I guess having Mancini with Hughes was just a bit of a test to see how it looked. There was a big save from Seelovs on Mikheyev. Great save. Canucks didn't register a shot in 8.5 minutes in this first period. Again, that goes back to their passes either being blocked or intercepted. And then Quinn Hughes scores his 15th of the season at 17 minutes and 46 seconds, assisted by Hronek and Elias Pettersson. Points now in 3 straight, 5 points in his last 6 games. More on him a little later. And then 35 seconds later, Tyler Myers scores almost the identical goal, his 5th of the season at 18 minutes and 21 seconds, assisted by Sherwood and Bluger. And then that was the end of the first period. The shots in the period were 5-4 in favor of the Blackhawks. So the Canucks had 2 goals on 4 shots in this first period. Moving on to the second period, Seelovs gets a delay of game penalty. Unfortunate. Niels Aman serves it. Blackhawks did not convert on this power play. They still didn't get a shot on goal. So that's 2 power play now. They haven't registered a shot on goal. Canucks penalty kill continuing to be dominant. Canucks draw a penalty. Connor Bedard goes off for hooking. There was a missed slashing call on Jake DeBrusk. The referees completely missed it. I don't know how. They must be blind or something. More on that again a little later. Canucks went on the power play. Canucks ended up being 0 for 1 on the power play. They too did not register a shot on goal. And then Connor Garland scores a beautiful goal, his 17th of the season at 8 minutes and 8 seconds, assisted by Suter and Höglander. Canucks 3 goals on 9 shots. Like, wow, where's this coming from? And then Höglander 4 assists in the last 6 games for him. Höglander is starting to heat up once again, and it's great to see. Vlasic scores his 4th of the season at 18 minutes and 51 seconds, assisted by Donato and Teravainen. Chicago showing some life in the second period. There was a bit of a late push from Chicago in the second period as well, but the second period ends, and then the shots in the period were 8-6 in favor of the Blackhawks. After 2 periods, 13-10 in favor of Chicago. Then we move on to the third period. I mentioned earlier about not a whole lot of shots, where this was a very low shooting game. As I mentioned, shots were 13-10 after 2 periods, which is usually something you see after the first period. And then Elias Pettersson scores his 15th of the season at 4 minutes and 1 second, assisted by Höglander. There was some confusion as initially it wasn't called a goal, as it literally went into the net and bounced right out. And then moments later, Höglander ended up scoring. They ended up taking the goal away from Höglander as having looked and seen that Pettersson had actually scored. So just one goal, not two. But there's Elias Pettersson with his 15th. You could hear "Let's Go Petey" chants once again echoing throughout the Raj. Pettersson now goals in 3 straight, 4 in his last 5. Back-to-back multi-point nights for Elias Pettersson. Is he back? We mentioned in our video the other day about EP40, whether or not he's back to form. You can find that right here. And I'm starting to think, yeah, maybe he is. Also a multi-point game for Höglander. Myers ends up getting called for roughing. So the Canucks go on the penalty kill. Blackhawks end up going 0 for 3 on the power play as they do not end up converting. And then Connor Bedard gets called for hooking. That negates that penalty. So we're now 4-on-4 for a full 2 minutes. Or just under 2 minutes, rather. Kaiser scores his 4th of the season at 5 minutes and 22 seconds, assisted by Levshinov and Donato. It was a bit of a soft goal on Silovs. He likely wants that one back. This was also the first career point for Levshinov in his 3rd career game for the Blackhawks. He was a 2nd overall pick by Chicago. Both Garland and Murphy get into it following a play, and both get called for roughing. They thought Garland didn't really need the penalty. I thought it was more so Murphy, as he also kind of shoved Garland down to the ice. I thought that should have been an extra penalty there, but that's just me. Canucks end up going 0 for 2 on the power play. This power play in particular was only a 5-second power play, so you can't really hold that against them. Amon scores his 1st of the season at 9 minutes and 50 seconds, assisted by Sherwood and Bluger. And what a beautiful behind-the-back pass by Kiefer Sherwood. Not only can the guy hit, the guy has some hands on him too. So Sherwood's signing in the offseason is turning out to be one heck of a decision made by this management group. And he is absolutely becoming, or he already is rather, a fan favorite. And I hope we have Sherwood for years to come. Suter scores his 18th of the season at 9 minutes and 58 seconds, assisted by Garland and Joshua. That is now 2 goals in 8 seconds for the Canucks. 6 goals on 14 shots. Wow. Where have these Canucks been this all season long? This has been crazy. Little note, this is now the 2nd time this season Canucks have scored 6 in a game. Guess who they've done it against twice? Both against Chicago. Towards the end of the game there, Hedl took a hit from behind. He went head and face first into the boards, and he was struggling to get to his feet. He actually got to his feet and then buckled down to the ice. He went straight to the dressing room. I just want to say, how the fuck was that not a penalty? It was a check from behind. He went face/head first into the boards. How was that not a effing penalty? That should be standard for a penalty. You saw Rick Tocchet on the bench. He was livid, very animated. So once again, Tocchet being frustrated. Twice now, Tocchet has been frustrated with the officials on the bench. And then shortly after this, we had 4 10-minute misconducts. Connor Bedard, 10-minute misconduct. This is now back-to-back games that Connor Bedard has had a 10-minute misconduct. Roenick had a 10-minute misconduct. Garland had a 10-minute misconduct. And so did Nazar. And then that brings us to the end of this game. The final shots in the 3rd period were 6-5, once again in favor of Chicago. The final shots through 60 minutes, 19-15 in favor of Chicago. The Canucks, as I mentioned, 6 goals on 15 shots. Holy crap. Getting into our post-game notes, as I just mentioned, lots of goals for the Canucks. One little thing that I'd like to point out, Brock Besser was very quiet in this game. He did not get on the score sheet. which is unfortunate, and his drought continues. So that's an interesting note there. Seelovs with 17 saves on 19 shots. We mentioned Hedl. There's a lot of worry because Hedl has concussion history, and I really hope he's okay. I also think that Department of Player Safety should look at this, as I think Dickinson should be suspended for this. This is a dirty hit. And then while I was watching the broadcast, they brought up that he had a similar hit against Macklin Celebrini the other night when they played the Sharks. And yeah, so this is twice in 2 games now that he's had a dirty/bad hit. So I think the league should look into that, especially considering Hedl's injury history and just how he laid there on the ice, attempted to get back up, and then buckled and nearly fell over. You saw the frustration from Hedl as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on the status of Philip Hedl for tomorrow night. As I mentioned earlier, the second time now this season that Canucks have scored 6 goals. The other time was against Chicago back on October 22nd, 2024. After this win for the Canucks, they leapfrogged the Flames into a playoff spot. So they are now at 73 points. Flames are at 71. Moving forward into our player of the game. Player of the game is Elias Pettersson, who finishes the night with a goal, an assist, 1 shot on goal, but he made it count. 2 hits, 1 block, and 16 minutes and 1 second of ice time. So Elias Pettersson, I think he answered the question that I had from the other night. Is he back to form? I think he is now after tonight. So that's going to do it for this game recap. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to The Line Change, I would highly recommend subscribing, especially if you want more content coming your way. Also, if you hit that bell, you get notified every single time we upload a video. And that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next video.